you listening?
Welcome to the Craic'n Coachin podcast. This is our second take because for some reason me and Emmett keep facing technical issues and it's starting to get really annoying. But I think it's our fault because we're just fucking unked out. It's so bad. Emmett, how's your day been, mate? And I'll pretend that I haven't heard it already.
It's been absolutely fantastic, mate. It's been a good day. I went to my first show there. First natural pro qualifier in Australia. It was a good day, which we got talking about, but I'm sure we'll get back to it again.
I'll reenact my reaction. Oh, wow, mate. That's phenomenal. I'm sure you really enjoyed that. What was the experience like?
It was good, mate. It was good getting a little taste. It was good getting a little taste for it. But we'll get into it. We'll speak about it again. But it's been a good day.
Yeah, you're back in the land of Oz. How's that? I know you went home Sunday. Olivia went home Thursday.
Yeah, it's good to be back. Had a lovely time at home. It was really good. Sun was shining the whole time in Portugal and in Ireland. So it really felt like I was on holiday, which made that a bit nicer. But at the same time, it's good to be back into my normal routine.
Yeah, something you said to me in person was that, you know, you're happy to sort of have this week gap, this week break, and you're okay to sort of relax a wee bit because you know whenever you're back, this is it. You're in what's going to be pre-prep very soon, getting ready for competing next year.
No, yeah, don't get me wrong. I enjoyed my time. It was just staying present. Like, I wasn't home in 2.5 years, so it was easy to enjoy it and catch up with people you haven't seen in a while. It was just like getting to see all the people you wanted to see was the issue because it was such a short time frame that I was only home 2 weeks. You know, it's probably, in hindsight, I probably could have stayed an extra week. And I was actually looking towards the back end on staying an extra couple of days and seeing if I could change the flights. But in the end, I went, just go when I planned on going back to school, back to business. And to see me honest, when I landed back, I was pretty happy, pretty excited to get going again.
Yeah, it's the right timing. You almost like if you had to stay the other week, is there potential you could have sickened yourself as well, where you were like, oh fuck, like why did I stay the extra week? Like I just want to get myself home. Maybe leaving on a high is the best thing.
But then again, the final week, it was just not like a normal week, only in a different environment when it comes to like training and nutrition and stuff like that, because it was pretty much like clockwork. I got a full week of training and stuff done. It was just like training in different gyms, which funny enough we can actually talk about today because I'm still training in their different gyms because there was a arson attack on the gym that I train in regularly.
Right, I didn't know what was happening there. I was like, is there a holiday I've missed? You know, are they getting refurbed? Jesus Christ.
Full on arson attack. So the gym's out of action. Don't know how long for. It's all up in the air at the minute, so I don't know. It could be a while. I mean, assume it could be a while.
They sound like a very bitchy West Belfast Millie. Annie T. Do you know anything about it? Rather not speak about it. That's fine.
I think there was the guy that owns the gym. His car was burnt down or attacked or targeted last year. And then his gym's obviously been.
Facts. Something's going on there. Like.
His gym's targeted this time round. Don't know. It's a new-ish gym. They're actually the owners and stuff. Are actually on a trip on holiday, so, like in Europe. So so they weren't there to. I think they're still on holiday, so they weren't able to get there as soon as possible. Or I don't know if it seems like someone's maybe targeted, knowing they weren't at home. Don't know. It's all speculation, and you know what? It's all over my head. Like I'm not really in the know when it comes to Australian news. You know, I'm sure people within Melbourne, like people within Belfast, will know the crack, but I don't like. I just again.
Anything happens in Belfast, and it's like within 10 minutes you're getting
know.
something into the group chat. Did you hear about him? It's like, how do you even know this? It's like the fella hasn't even got picked up by an ambulance yet.
Yeah, there's already forwarded many times WhatsApp images and videos and stuff being sent in, but I don't know. See, I just seen this. I joined this gym a year and a half ago, seeing how well equipped it was. Mate, like there's been millions pumped into this gym. It's unbelievable. With the equipment that's in it, like all top equipment. So I just was like kid in the candy shop, and I just didn't think twice. Maybe a bit of naivety there on my end, but with that happening, I've just been training, making do in Doherty's gym, which is like a gym in the city, which is like an old school. It has all old school Cybex kit, to be fair, and it's underneath the train station, which is pretty cool. And it's like a bit of a dungeon vibe to it. So I'm training there in the meantime, but I'll just see what happens with this issue and how long the gym's closing. I think that we'll maybe find out a bit more soon.
Well, with Doherty's, like a lot of people go there, don't they? 'Cause I have seen it before. But then me and you were chatting the other day about like environment and the sort of setup of gyms, daylight coming through, etc. And especially the time you train at, does training in somewhere like that just not really fit the vibe for you?
Doherty's has a couple of gyms. There's one in the city, which is so handy, in fairness. And there's one in Brunswick. The one in Brunswick is like the OG one, and that's where the athletes and stuff will register or and do stuff before shows. And it's probably the best one. It's like the OG bodybuilding one, has all the bodybuilding posters and stuff up on the walls.
It's the Mecca.
And it's the Mecca. The one in the city, there's ones all around Australia, to be honest. There's one in Perth, which is quite good. But the one I actually like it in terms of the vibe and the environment. I actually like it. It's quiet in the mornings, so I see so far, and not a lot of people there at all. The only issue with it is it's all OG Cybex, like all OG Cybex, but they've pumped recently a load of techno gym into it, which is like like leisure centre vibe now to it, but they still have the Cybex stuff, but it's just like, why have you done that?
Yeah. It is like buying a really nice car and sticking shit wheels on it. It's like, why top it off with that? Fork out, get the next nice wheels, brother.
100%. But like I'm spoiled for choice when it comes to gyms here as well. So
seems like they're all very well
stuck.
too.
I'll not be stuck. Like there's one I really want to join called Hustler. I'm sure you've heard of the Hustler leg extension pad. Yeah, so that's that gym. But the gym itself, I was training there on the weekend, really good. But it's just a bit out of the way, so on the agenda is going to have to be...
Funny enough, seeing you doing a single leg extension without the Hustler pad. Surely it's disrespectful.
Oh yeah, true. I'll get to that. I was going to say, I need to get a car. So to join that gym, it's a bit more out of the way. It's hard to access public transport. And having a car at home when I was in Ireland was like, fuck, this is nice, I missed this. I need to get a car sorted. The transport here is so good that we haven't really needed it. But probably something I'll look into, especially if I'm going to have to move gyms. That Hustler gym's amazing. But yeah, see, when it comes to the Hustler pad, I don't think you need it on the Prime leg extension because it's so adjustable. I don't think you need it.
It's built for it.
So I just don't use it on it.
I think it is sort of built for the Cybex, isn't it really? Cybex leg extension, I think that's what it was sort of marked off of.
Maybe, there's plenty of leg extensions that cut off the range of motion that you can use it on.
But it just looks like it's built for the mold for it. It looks like it's just supposed to insert onto the... Because I wouldn't imagine it being like, the way the techno gym and stuff on is, like it's like a perfect cylinder. Probably wouldn't fit very well, be janky.
But again, you can't polish a turd when it comes to techno gym, mate, so it doesn't matter what you put on that. To the main.
Funny enough though, like with the techno gym stuff and talking about, brands that are usually quite beat out when it comes to, quality and getting a good piece, Watson have turned a corner. Like,
Watson's good. I actually like some of the Watson stuff too.
Mate, you didn't even get to go to that Club 24 in City Centre.
Oh, they're Watson day, aren't they?
Yeah, mate, there's some
pieces. But is that new kit
like,
or is that old? Do Watson still make equipment?
I think so. It's very new to me. to be honest. Like, all the kit's very new to me. I'm like, I haven't seen this stuff before ever. So
yeah. No, I actually do like some Watson stuff.
The Watson
there's a gym
belt squad is, and they're
see Hustler, gym I'm talking about. They got a Watson. I think it's a belt squad. I think the belt squad is Watson, and they got a True squad. Have you seen the True squad? Watson have.
Yeah, the city centre 24, Club 24 have it all. Have the
that looks unbelievable.
The hip press, the leg press, and the pendulum, and they've got that belt squad. Unbelievable.
Yeah, it's good kit. It's one of those where it's not like commercial gyms, but a lot of commercial gyms will have them. But some of them are well designed. Like, there's a gym that's actually near me called Jungle, and it's predominantly Watson, but it has a little bit of Prime as well. And I think the gym that I train out of is going to make one of the gyms available to be trained in for free while this is getting sorted. And I think it might be that gym. I hope it is, and it's nearby. So it's like Watson and Prime, so you can't really be bad at that.
Oh, that's nice to hear, to be fair, that other gyms are actually trying to help out with that situation. You always hear, like,
we'll see how it goes. Because you don't realise like how big of an impact that has on the gym users, because like you just take it for granted that you're training in this gym all the time until something like that happens. You're like, fuck, what do I do now? You know?
Especially whenever like you're very like us and you almost build your whole week around it, like building a week around getting to that gym back, and then, you know, you add on a different direction or something like that. Like I mean I built my whole, especially within whenever I was like locked in bodybuilding and we were training, well, in terms of bodybuilding prep, and then having switched gyms, like everything on the way there, everything on the way back was just so handy that way. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. When you're routine orientated.
You typing something in the mirror.
Routine orientated, and any change, any change can throw a bit of a spanner in the works. You just have to be able to adapt, don't you? Like,
big time. Like, and I am very like, I don't think enough people talk about this, but like you start being way more efficient with your time whenever you don't have much of it. So, you know, like, there's like random wee tasks that I have to do every week. So I make sure it all sort of lines up. So like changing, I'm just thinking of it like coming from here. Like, I know that there's certain places I need to go to, like the supplement shops on the way to like Atlas. Even the laundrettes was on the way to Atlas, so it was like, you know, on a Friday I pick up my clothes from where I go to Atlas, blah, blah, blah. And then the next minute, like, if Atlas is closed, especially because Atlas is in a built up mill, and that mill's run by like a governing body, but they close on every bank holiday. Like, so you just going the other way up the road. I was like, this has fucked my whole week up. Something shocking, but I can imagine how you're feeling right now, having to completely change everything to the point where you're like, maybe I'll get a car.
Yeah, do you know what though? I'll be sweet. Like, I'll train at the Hardy's in the meantime, and again, if you know how to train and you can adapt, it's gonna make you better. Like, don't get too. That's why you can't get too married to certain things, I think, sometimes, because when there's a spanner in the works, you have to be able to
adapt.
Know how to adapt.
Yeah, big time. We were also chatting before it all fucked up about your first experience of a bodybuilding show today.
Yes. So, pro natural IFBB pro natural qualifier in Australia, the first ever. So I just dipped my head in by myself, with all my meals, like a real sad bodybuilder I was, mate.
I was
no
expecting
one with
the
me,
picture.
you see.
You know, the cream of rice.
Yeah.
And the
Hood up.
Yeah.
Well, it's it did take one, like, I did take one, to be fair. But yeah, it wasn't because it was just being hardcore and I love it so much. It's because no one cares enough to go with me. That's the thing, mate. If it was home, I know you'd be here. I know Finn would be here. So that's the thing about bodybuilding. It can be a bit of a lonely endeavour, can't it?
Yeah, big time. But like, you know, those events are the ones that you probably do want to spend a bit more time at, socialise that, especially where you're at right now. Like, if I was to give any advice to clients in your same position where, you know, bodybuilding is a quite inclusive sport and everyone's very alike, but I think that there's a big barrier to entry sometimes. Even speaking to people can be quite hard in the gym, especially because you're all in doing the same thing, locked in, and you know yourself, you have that first conversation and then that's your best mate.
Yeah, well, there was a fella on competing actually who trains with me. Well, trains at the same time as me, trains in the same gym as me. So I was watching him and I was taking a keen interest in how he was getting on. He was competing classic, and he's like a first timer season, and he's had an unbelievable season, to be fair. And he was up against some of the big boys today, and he placed as well. But just like within my circle, there's no one that would be really too interested when it comes to bodybuilding. But I was kind of just there being like, I want to go and see what it's like, because well, I'll be there, like, so it makes sense for me to have a look and get an understanding if they're running the shows, etc., etc.
And do you think he could replace me as your best friend?
No chance, mate. No chance.
Good. I was getting a bit of that.
Possible, mate.
Sorry to be honest, mate. We were
But
speaking of him.
he's a legend. He's a legend. He listens to the pod. I think I've shouted him out in the pod last week. Big Adrian Edwards.
Big up,
yeah,
Adrian.
he's competing true novice classic. He's had he's swept up well on some of the shows this year, but I think he still placed this in this one. But there was some hefty competition too.
Yeah, we'd seen that there. Well, I was sharing the screen and then for some reason it all broke. So we'll not do that again.
Well, we'll not do that, but we're sharing the screen where we're looking through some of the competitors, stuff, some of the standouts, and I think the gist of it was that you can achieve a serious physique naturally. Like, some of these fellas are looking, it's like that's very impressive that they're natural, and it's like inspiring as well that you're able to do that naturally.
Yeah.
So that was one of my big takeaways there from it too.
And then I'd also mention just sort of, I would love to run a bit of a segment in the podcast where we do shout out like the Irish athletes that we see doing very well. And I'd said about Morgan Kilo. Like, we could definitely get him in a pod at some point. I'm sure he seems like a pretty sound guy, but from last year to this year, the transformation alone was phenomenal. Like I showed you, and then on top of that, fuck me, like he's just been cleaning up. And he's taken himself to the WNBF Hong Kong, and by the looks of it, from what I get the gist of, Bro's got his pro card.
Mad. Competing in Hong Kong would just be a mad experience. Obviously getting your pro card, mad. God knows, he must be feeling pretty good right now, but that'd be surreal, I reckon.
Especially because Hong Kong is not, like, the Asian countries do natural bodybuilding so well, and their physiques are just so well put together in terms of symmetry, bubbliness. Like, to win a pro card and beat them guys, fuck me, like, well done. It isn't one of those ones where, like, you know, you've seen them get a pro card at an OCD show in, like, Canada somewhere where everyone was fat. Like, everybody on stage was, like, looked like a competitive lineup.
Yeah.
Yeah. And his transformation in a year with Adam Powell as well has been phenomenal. Like, it does look like a completely different athlete.
It looks like a different person.
I know.
Older age, it's mad. But yeah, he's
big shout
good
out
coaching
to
there as
Adam
well.
and Morgan.
See.
Yeah. Both of them
Yeah.
putting in the shift and a half. You can really see it. Like, other news. What have I not talked about? Niall McGreevy. Did we talk about him on the pod?
We didn't. Don't think we did. I think that's new since we've last spoken. Or had it happened when we spoke on the in person?
I think me and you have dementia. It happened on the Sunday while I was in Donegal. Did we do a podcast after it?
We done it after, aye. We did do it after, yeah.
Oh, just an
We did speak about him. We did speak about him.
Like, amazing. First ever Rajadam Muay Thai champion. Sick. And also holds the
Magic.
WBC world title, I think, as well. At his, I think he's welterweight. Phenomenal. 2-time world champion from Ireland. From Lanadun, really, like. Unreal. And then Tom Keogh as well. Did very good on the one championship, and he's actually sort of looks like he's getting lined up to fight Nico Carrillo, which is a pretty big one. Pretty big one.
And then
but that's
we had Keaton.
Go ahead, sorry.
Keaton the Jocker there fought for a world title yesterday.
Yes,
just came up short. Came up short, but I think he'll come back. He'll come again, and he will get that world title eventually. I think he in him.
Completely rode off.
No, he wasn't outclassed. He came into the fight in the later rounds. I think the guy won the fight because of Josh Kelly was fighting. Won the fight because of the earlier rounds, but then because he just kind of dominated initially. Keaton came back strong and towards the back end of the fight. I'm sure he wishes he started that way, but he just grew into the fight and made it competitive towards the end. So he'll come again, but that's like his first loss, and he's on the world stage. He's fighting for world titles, so
it's mad. Like fighters in Ireland, especially. And don't get me wrong, bodybuilding's definitely picking up something shocking, especially this year. Like you've seen Dar McNamara getting his IFBB Pro card. That's huge. Multiple people picking up PCA Pro cards in the last couple of years. Like bodybuilding in Ireland is growing at a rapid rate as well, and they even see, all the boys picking up fucking like the Pro cards last year as well. WNBFs, like that MBFI first Pro card, like unreal. Like all the sports across the board in Ireland per capita probably have some of the best athletes, I would say.
For such a small island, yeah, they do extremely well.
Yeah, because I think that's always the talking topic, especially when it comes to bodybuilding. Like people feeling like we're behind, but it's not. It's just that we just don't have as many people doing it. So
such a small nation, I think there might be as many people in Melbourne as there are in Ireland. Don't quote me on that, but it's
to put it in the perspective.
It puts it in this perspective a little bit, exactly. I also believe you had your first Muay Thai fight, mate.
Yeah, I did. I can't really write it off as like a proper bout. It was called a demo. Pretty much the guy that I was fighting was a lot more experienced than I was. So it had been set up for a fight. Liam, the guy that coaches me 1-to-1 for Muay Thai, I sort of clicked on that the guy had a bit more experience and made the right call as a coach, and was just like, look, it's not gonna do you any harm jumping in for a demo, but I think if you just go in and have a proper fight, it could be quite off-putting. And I'm very game. I'm very game for anything, so I would never really back down from that there. I always like the idea of a challenge, so I was just going to go in and fight him, and knew he had a lot more experience, but they were like, he shouldn't really be fighting in their club anyway. He's had a couple of fights, and he's been doing 1-to-1s with different people, etc., who are quite experienced, so it isn't going to be fair. So he was like, get the demo, dust the cobwebs off. Like, well, there's no cobwebs. I've never fought before, but the idea, just get in and get it done, and it was class. It was really, really good experience. So initially 3-round bout. I think I did quite well in the first. Second, got my testicles obliterated. Went for a nice wee step over knee, and he seen it coming clearly, and he just shot through the middle to try and, I think he was trying to knee me down the middle. And of course my testicles are just so big that he couldn't not miss them. So I ended up he actually hit your calf. It was a calf hit, but just hang that low. Yeah. That's it, man. He just smashed him to bits. So it definitely took a wind out of me, and then he hit me with a gorgeous combination just after this, whenever it sort of felt like it recovered, and he hit me to the body, and I just keeled over like a sack of potatoes. It was like, oh my god, it was gorgeous. But there was a couple of things I landed I was happy with. I lasted the whole 3 rounds. I came back after that, like, I had a couple of deep breaths. As much in my head, I was sitting there going, Jesus Christ, I have to stand back up and try and fight this guy, and if he hits me in the same spot again, I'm probably going to just be lying on the canvas here. But like, if that's what it's like fighting someone who's a bit more experienced, I can only imagine fighting someone with my own experience. It's going to be not easier, but it's going to be a lot more fair. It's going to be give and take a lot more. Whereas that guy was like, as soon as I give, he fucking was like, well, if you're going to hit me that hard, I'm going to have to hit you twice as hard, aren't I? So,
it's a good experience. It's good experience in front of a crowd now as well, and even that under that sort of fight scenario, fight conditions. So it's a good experience for you.
What's it? That's all I really wanted was, 2 things. Is that I've always had it in my head from when I was quite young. I was like, I'd love to get into a fighting sport and actually compete in it. I did in jiu-jitsu, but never really taken up anything that was like very punching and kicking. Did a wee bit of MMA back in the day, and I mean a very small amount. So to actually get in a ring was a good experience. Also, like the idea of as a coach just having skin in the game. You know, same with like the reason why I have done bodybuilding and the reason I am fighting right now is because, well, I have clients that do that thing and I want to get better at it. I think whenever I sort of finish up with a Muay Thai route, I'll likely go down the route of maybe running a wee bit more as well. And really, like, it sort of gels in quite well with Muay Thai. But I think that's probably going to be my next big side quest, is like maybe a bit more of a long distance run or something like that. Maybe like an Ironman, something fucking mental. So in my head, I'm just thinking, okay, like, and I think I've been thinking like that from natural bodybuilding as well, is that, you know, I don't think that I'm happy to niche down into a certain sport, but I do want to go get the experience. I want to learn how to be a better coach, and I want to challenge myself. And, you know, it's very good just meeting other people along the way. So, you know, natural bodybuilding was good. I think I was kidding myself, thinking that I was going to stay on. I think I was just telling myself that lie because, you know, I wanted to, because everyone around me was. But I think I'm just always going to be the guy that wants to go do something new, you know, and try and be average at everything is what I want to be.
Testing yourself in different endeavours, and you.
Yeah, I just want to be a good
sounds
athlete.
like you like competing as well. You like competition, and
big time.
it sounds like you like being a beginner too, and learning a new skill.
Oh, there's nothing like it. There is nothing like it. To be honest, the adrenaline rush just from that interclub alone, I was like, fuck me, this is something completely new. Yeah. I just like doing hard shit, man. That's it.
Yeah. It's definitely a different buzz to bodybuilding, I'm sure.
Bodybuilding's a wee bit very, very different, you know, because you almost have to hold yourself very stoically in bodybuilding the whole way through. I know in fighting you do, but like, I don't know, there's a bit of a different mindset and personality that comes out for bodybuilding for me. And you know you've done the work too. There is, I don't know, maybe explain it better. There's no, like, in fighting there's always a chance that someone could just throw the most random punch ever or kick and end you, even if you are 10 times more experienced. But in bodybuilding, like, it is what it is. Like, if you're the better athlete, you'll win. And don't get me wrong, I'm sure there's definitely multiple cases where maybe the better athlete hasn't won, but this is it, you know. Most of the time, I would say 99% of the time, the better athlete will always win, and the work's been done prior. Whereas with fighting, like, you could do all the work and fuck me, you could show up and it could happen.
Fighting, there's always a danger as well. The entire time, you always have to be totally razor switched on, I think, and it's all within your control as well. Fighting, like, in some aspect, bodybuilding isn't, because it's in the control of the judges. Obviously, boxing and fighting is too. There's judges there, but you think you have a lot more of a say.
Yeah, but
on the day,
in bodybuilding,
you know,
if you come in, like, let's say the last round of posing, and you've lost, you've been like out to the side the whole time, the chance of getting brought back into the middle and winning's, like, it's probably never heard of. But with fighting, you could be 2 rounds down and you come into the ring and you're just told you've lost. So your only way of winning is a Hail Mary here. Go knock that fella out or stop him. Like, it's very, very different. Not in that sense, but yeah. Yeah, I'm excited to see what comes of Muay Thai.
You can be totally outclassed in a fighting sport and still lose, or and still win. And you can totally outclass someone and still lose. So,
which is mental, absolutely mental. I think that concept, like you said, it's just there's almost that fear behind it the whole time, isn't there? That even if you are, like, up on the cards, something could come out of the blue. But plan is possibly take another interclub, because I didn't really get a proper fight there, and then speak to Liam about potentially being matched towards the end of the year on an actual show. Be quite good. But again, it is also just to show the clients that I'm not just sitting on the sidelines, you know, being like, do this, do that. Like, I actually want to be able to turn around and go, well, you know what, I have a tiny bit of experience here, so I can say things with my chest, And I think that's it too. I think a lot of people have a lot of problems with like that. What is I'm thinking of here? Imposter syndrome, and I think that's a lot of the time why, because they don't have a lot to back what they're saying.
Yeah. You have to do the do. You have to come from a place of experience, don't you?
Big time.
Right, mate. I'm gonna go and grab a quick intermission. I'm gonna go grab my charger.
A few inches later.
Yeah. See,
we're back.
Yeah. So I think we wanted to chat about cardio modalities. Is that the correct word?
Cardio modalities. Yeah.
Mainly just off the back of
for bodybuilding
something that Finn had. Yeah, something off the back of what Finn had brought up yesterday. He said he had listened to a podcast with Cuba and I'm not too sure who, but some doctor. I think that him and Cuba are quite friendly. Someone probably knows I'm butchering this right now a wee bit, but just kind of what Finn had told me about, and it sort of just sparked a conversation between me and Emmett. But I think this doctor says at some point that bodybuilders should be running. So, should bodybuilders run? And I think I'll take the side of arguing for running. You'll probably just take the side for not running as a bodybuilder.
Yeah, for me, I don't think you would need to be running. I think that the running is going to be more wear and tear on the joints. It's going to be a lot more systemically fatiguing on the entire body. My argument would be, and you would be better using a more low intense variation of cardio, whether that would be on the elliptical, which is my favourite, on the bike, on the Stairmaster, and getting your heart rate up, improving your aerobic capacity without hammering your joints like you would running, especially on the roads.
Yeah, I'm definitely for. I think that's always been the case of what I've heard as well in terms of that argument. That's why bodybuilders don't run, really. But then they try and argue the other side of it, because I don't really know what the point was. I didn't really get the rest of it with Finn. I was with a client. I actually need to go listen to the podcast, but I could definitely argue for a couple of interesting points. Is that I always think that within the fitness realm, Chinese whispers always happen so easily, where you hear one guy saying about his legs deteriorating while running, and there was no real context behind it, and then everyone took it and ran with it. It's like, maybe this guy was actually a half decent runner. Maybe he could run at a decent pace. Like, is introducing a running to a pretty average bodybuilder going to be minimal effective dose? Running a 40-minute 5K just above walking pace, is it going to be beneficial to ligaments, joints, tendons, taking consistent impact over and over again? Is it going to reduce the risk of an injury long term? And also, is it going to be more effective at getting the heart rate up and testing the overall cardiovascular system of the body, rather than you spending the first 15 minutes on a Stairmaster or an elliptical actually trying to get your heart rate up? Because I would say most bodybuilders, you send them out on a run, within the first 3 minutes, they're going to fucking know they're running.
It's a good point. It does take a while when you're on some sort of machine to actually get the heart rate up, doesn't it? That's why when I program cardio, I usually add like 3 minutes on, just to allow for that sort of initial couple of minutes as you're getting your heart rate up, I suppose at running it'd be hard to keep your heart rate at a sort of, sometimes the people would say the sweet spot there is like between 130, 150 beats per minute, in terms of you're still getting a decent amount on there in terms of a challenge, but not so much so that it's going to leave you digging a bit of a hole. So I'd say running, maybe it'd be difficult for your heart rate to stay under a certain threshold, especially the heavier you are, the more heavily muscled you are. Your heart rate might be sky high, you might be hitting 200, and it's not coming down any. So I suppose context dependent too. Like for someone like me that's a lot lighter, I don't think it would be like a catastrophe at all.
No, I think you would be the perfect the person I'm probably talking about, you know, that is around the 80 kilo marker. And personally, myself, coming from bodybuilding and transitioning into a different sport where it requires me to have a lot better cardio, I know for a fact that like trying to go out and run a zone 2 run right now, it's so slow, unbearably slow, to the point I'm like, fuck me, I should just be walking. So if that's bringing my heart rate up to that point, you know, like, and that's like a 32-minute 5k, you know, someone that isn't training their cardiovascular systems hard or just getting introduced to this here, is it going to be helpful to maybe at the start? Like, I think they were more talking about it in the sense of just being a day-to-day bodybuilder, not in a prep set and not in any sort of mad extreme, but just doing this here continuously.
Yeah. Is there a case in point where the bodybuilders that have been running? Do you
I'd
know
seen
any?
one, and I had brought up the Finn before, and he just sort of was very dismissive. He was like, that's the 1 in 100. And I was like, what if it's not? But this guy was like not a bodybuilder, quite well muscled. I can't remember his name, but I'm pretty sure he was in the same sort of like circle as like Nuances and Dr. Help me with his name. He's a natural bodybuilder, American. Quite well known.
Is he American? Is he Canadian? Eric Helms?
Eric Helms, Dr. Eric Helms. I think he was in that circle of people. But he was actually running like his best marathon times. And interestingly enough, if you are expending so much, you're going to get to eat more. So
Yeah.
I think it's also just like bodybuilders being outside the realm, you know, being afraid to test something else. Because I always like the idea of trying to get someone to spike their heart rate before going into steady state cardio so that they're not wasting time. Like, what would be wrong with, like, I don't know, I would say personally, like 5 sprints on an assault bike would get your heart rate quite high.
Yeah. Do you know what? I don't think it's like the worst thing.
I mean,
I'm not like
10 seconds, like sprinting,
I'm
50
not
seconds, rest. Sorry.
the idea of maybe running or something. Like, I'm not totally dismissive of it. Like, I'm open to the fact that maybe there is a case in point, or a context where it would work. You know, I think like a lot of bodybuilders, or maybe it's almost like, you know, the Buzz Lightyears on the shelf where there's like a million of them. It's all the same Buzz Lightyear. They all do the same thing, talk the same way. You can't distinguish between them. Like, it could be that sort of thing where, like you're talking about, where everyone just sig monkey see, monkey do. You're maybe not thinking outside the box, but for me, like personally, I'm not going to start running off the back of this, but it is an interesting sort of idea. I think cardio in general is context dependent too. Like,
That was my
I'm
source of
currently not
cardio in my second photo shoot during COVID. I just ran in
Running?
Congolene. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm currently not doing any cardio. Like, some people might argue and say some people might say that's not optimal. You definitely should be doing cardio, but it's like never black and white, because I'm also racking up 20k steps at least on a daily basis. I'm running around like a madman school as a PE teacher. So would there be a case to say doing cardio for me on top of that would be too much? That would take away from my bodybuilding. I mean, so there's always context and nuance required. Like, I don't think it's a black and white approach of you must do cardio, or you can't do running. You know, it's context dependent, individual specific as well.
It was quite a popular topic in the year that I actually competed in 2024, of AJ actually having a lot of his competitors not doing cardio.
Yeah, it'd be interesting to see if I do require cardio. Like, I'm quite fit. My heart rate is resting the low 50s still, and that's like that's pretty decent. That's 10 months into, again, phase continuously pushing body weight up, pushing food high, and I'm fit and healthy, and I haven't done cardio in a couple of months, direct cardio. So would it be pointless for me to do cardio? For me to jump on an elliptical a couple of times a week when I'm doing so much expenditure? Anyway,
Just pulling down the food alone is going to be creating a deficit.
Yeah, exactly. Like then I'm in a deficit, then I'm not in the conducive spot to build muscle at all. So it's all about nuance, mate, isn't it? Like,
Yeah, and I think this is what you're saying exactly. Like I actually love that analogy, and I'm going to steal it off you. That Buzz Lightyear one, it's a very good one. But that's it. It is monkey see, monkey do when it comes to coaching as well. Like, people aren't taking into account that these people might actually might benefit from it. What's their background came from, you know, especially natural bodybuilding. The difference between, I think, all sports, personally, I've always like this idea that all sports are very single-minded, single pathway, and you could do a lot of things within this pathway. It's only whenever you start to wanting to be like the better, the best, the pro, is whenever you need to really bridge off and be a bit more specific. And a lot of people get to that point, you know, get to the crossroads, and they're like, okay, well, I need to start being a better bodybuilder now. But, you know, sleeping well, eating well, training well, doing a bit of cardio. Like, everyone's going to benefit from resistance training. Everyone's going to benefit from a bit of cardio. Everyone's going to benefit from sleeping better, eating well, recovering well. So the road's the same. But then it's like, okay, we need to start developing certain parts of the physique. We need to start developing certain abilities and properties and principles when it comes to being an athlete. We need to start, I don't know, we need to start making you smaller because you want to be a jockey. Whatever the fuck it is you want to do, you know. But
I think
it's very similar.
when it comes to cardio too, like whatever cardio modality you enjoy the most can be a case that might be the best one for you. Someone might just love running as well, like loves it. Yeah. So for them, like I do have clients who just enjoy going for a run, and I'm not gonna like deter them from doing that. Say like it's not the most optimal approach. Like if they're aware of their recovery capacity and they're recovering alright from it and they're still making progress, like going out on a run isn't going to be the end of the world for them. And like you say, like once you're
to compare them to your
what
other clients that aren't running, like, do you see a difference? You know, are you going, well, he definitely looks like a runner, or are you just like, well, you know what,
No.
they're two average guys that are quite fit and healthy looking?
Yeah, I don't think there's been no, if there was a big negative coming from the running, I would just say, listen mate, we should just not do the running. It's your physique's deteriorating, you're not recovering from it. But if this is like, in this case in point, the individuals I'm thinking about, very fit, very healthy, he's always been involved in sports, can run no problem, has a good engine, and is jacked as well. So like, and is performing well in the gym. So it's like, running is not a detriment. He's like, I love going out for a run, not say on a Sunday or whatever. It's like far away. No problem. It's only going to do good things for your health and fitness, and you're not going to be stupid with it and injure yourself because you're capable of running. It's like when you talk about exercise selection, and you know, people that have never, say, done a dumbbell row or any sort of free weight exercise, and they don't have the skill to perform that. It's like having the skill to perform these things are always going to be more beneficial than just sticking to what's safe and what's, you know, the most optimal, the most effective. You know, like sticking to all the machines that converge in the next path. It's like, if you have the ability to press with 2 dumbbells in your hand, if you have the ability to perform some of these free weight movements, it's gonna, when you think about the full picture, you're going to be a bit more well-rounded, and well, you know, your joints are going to be better, you're going to be stronger. So,
and that guy you're talking about clearly has the properties in place and has adapted his body to be able to intake that there, whereas if you get the client that's never ran before, like, you're going to run into problems quite fast of like, my knees are sore, my ankles are sore, my calves are tight, like all these things, where that guy's like, he's conditioned everything. And I think that's where it does come down to, doesn't it? Like, in terms of being a coach, I think we both agree there, even though we're arguing opposite sides, is that, you know, you have to start coaching people. You can't just keep giving people like cookie cutter plans.
for me, personally, I'll not be running. You'll not see me running.
But you do.
I don't.
Like, I'm going to argue this. Like, you do run. Like, you go and play football with the kids and stuff. Do you know what I mean?
No, I do. But I'll not go for like designated specific runs anymore. I'll not go and go for a run. I just won't do it. I'm a bit.
But put a football in front of you
that way.
And an 11-year-old trying to score against you. He's done.
Yeah. the ball's getting bit through his legs, come around the keeper, and I'm running about all day.
Top in.
But yeah, but you know, I still love running. So it's not that I absolutely am against running. Like, I used to run for boxing, and I used to love it. Like, you do get a good high and a good buzz off it, and especially I used to make it like very competitive with myself, trying to beat my times, stuff like that. Like, my fittest time was when I was pretty out of shape, from a running perspective. Like, I wasn't in great shape, but I could run. So
It's quite interesting, isn't it? I also find that with running with a bit more time off. So I think too, it is quite hard to balance with other things that are happening. Like, you always hear bodybuilders complaining about their knees, and it's because most of the time the load they're taking through the knee, whenever it comes to training, that side of training legs twice a week, adding the run and the impact that you take from running on top of that there, if you're not already recovering and running about with janky knees, it's going to be a lot worse. So it is just, it's good load management, isn't it?
that's it. It's all about load management. What's your favourite cardio modality for bodybuilders specifically?
Stairmaster.
It's your favourite?
Bang for buck, Stairmaster. But to be honest, it's whatever they have best access to. You know, if there's an exercise bike in the house, use it in the house, and don't be taking yourself to the gym.
For some people, yeah, true, and that's convenience and all there as well. But like a Stairmaster, I'd argue, could be a bit fatiguing. Like, some people would be absolutely gassed on the Stairmaster. I think the bike, on the other hand, it just takes so much for a lot of people to get their heart rate up to a decent rate on the bike. Like, you have to work really, really hard to do that. I know I would. For me, I think that the sweet spot is the elliptical, where you can get the heart rate up at a decent rate. You know, like a cross trainer, but you're not burying yourself in the process. I think the elliptical is like the goat for cardio.
I've never used it. Like, I tried to at one point, and I was like, fuck me, this is taking forever. And as stupid as it sounds, because it's a fixed machine, I didn't feel like I had the skill to do it well enough. I just felt like it was like for 30 minutes, and I was like, what the fuck, man? Like, I know how to walk up a stairs, I know how to cycle a bike, so Stairmaster was always my go-to. I also think that, you know, if you put the speed up a wee bit higher for the first like 2 minutes, you know, you get your heart rate up quite fast, and then from there it's just a nice wee dander up the stairs. But each their own. You know, I don't have a favourite one. It's whatever's most accessible.
The Stairmaster is low effort, to be fair, and it definitely can get your heart rate, and it's pretty effective. I just think for some people it might be a bit much. And that's why I liked for myself the elliptical. I wouldn't go for anything else for cardio. The odd time I would maybe treat myself to a Stairmaster and then regret it afterwards. I also know some people have experimented with. Sorry, some people prefer or have experimented with hand tense, hit work, hand tense interval training, some hit style, and that's just like because it's more efficient.
Talked about this, didn't he?
I think, yeah, and there's definitely been a few bodybuilders who have done that sort of style of cardio, and just for efficiency.
JP.
I think it's quicker, and did he do it as well?
Yeah, it was mad seeing him on ski erg. I was like, per ski.
And that's like one of them things. It's like, yes, I like the elliptical, but of course it can be a bit boring. You know, the hit stuff's probably a bit more. Something that maybe get you a bit more up for it, and a bit more easy to adhere to. So adherence is a big factor as well. Whatever cardio you enjoy and can adhere to the most.
The endorphin return as well is very, very good. But then it's an argument of getting into like the nuances of different energy sources and stuff like that. But again, if you're a fucking amateur bodybuilder, like if you know that you're gonna be an IFBB pro and next Olympian, you already know. So 100% do what you're doing and preserve the muscle. But realistically, buddy, like if you're an amateur bodybuilder, just do what makes you happy. You're going to bring a good physique to the table if you eat well, sleep well, you know, do what you're told to do. and be in a deficit. And that's it. On the back end of cardio, or the back end of prep, it's just what you can actually maintain and what's actually going to be most effective and bang for buck. See, at the start of a prep, fire away. Do as you please, but then it's whenever you start picking away at the small things, being like, okay, well, your central nervous system's taking a wee bit of a hit. Seems like it might be this. We'll pull back on it. We'll give you something that's a wee bit easier. And that's when you start trading off. It's always the actions of good coach and good communication from the athlete. So at the end of the day, if it works, it works. And I'm sure that I could, for the crack at some point in my life, jump into a bodybuilding prep and do solely running just to prove a point.
You'd want to do it, wouldn't you?
Yeah, I would want to do it. Just to come back to this episode whenever we're on like episode 1000 and be like, remember we were talking about that a couple of years back? Well, look what I've done.
I'm
The
gonna
legs
let
are
you
looks like shit.
far away. I'm gonna let you far away. I'm not doing it. Hopefully by that stage, 1,000 episodes in, I'll not be running about with the 12-year-olds with the football. That'll be in the periphery. So hopefully that's not going to be the case. Mate, 1,000 in.
I think even with teaching, you'll still have that want. You'll be just crossing the street, getting your coconut flat weight and thinking, fuck, I'd skin that kid.
Oh, it'll be a long black for me.
Long black. Oh, okay. Yes. Also, I know we talked about this last time, but the amount of caffeine you drink is actually ridiculous.
Leave it out.
No, it actually is concerning. We need a what is it? We need a CA meeting, a Caffeine's Anonymous meeting. This is actually ridiculous. Like, it actually got to the point where I'm not drinking Monster this week because you've concerned me so much about the amount of caffeine that I was drinking too that week. And I'm like,
have a Monster, mate. Relax, it's fine.
No,
in my defense, I drink way more caffeine at home than I would normally typically have on an average. That wasn't an average week for me. Like, mate, I consumed about 2 grams of caffeine at the wedding alone that evening. That's not my norm, and I wouldn't recommend it to anyone. For me, typically, my caffeine's alright. My caffeine's fine.
So you sound like
2 coffees a month.
Trying to defend himself.
2 coffees a month a day. Sweet, like. Maybe 3 coffees actually.
What do you think of the bodybuilding show? I always want to fall asleep at them. They're so cozy.
That was good. I thought it was. I just thought it was like I was just trying to gain the experience from it and try and get a taste of what it'd be like. It didn't get me excited to compete, like, but I just think it's my due diligence to go up and have a look and see and get a bit of a feel for shows and stuff like that.
Yeah, any other ones lined up?
Nah, that was like kind of on a whim. I just seen it was available. I actually spoke to the girl behind the desk in Doherty's, and she was going to it, and I was like, you know what, fuck, I'll go. I was meaning to go to a couple. I don't know. I think that might be. I don't know if that's season B wrapped up.
I wouldn't know too well. But the Oz.
There's still a season. I think there's still a season C. Is there a C? I don't know. I might be making a tit of myself there. I think there's a C. There'll be a few more shows anyway. But I'll get going to 1 or 2 more if I can.
Well, actually, in Ireland, there's we're 8 weeks out from the final one of the year, I think, for PCA. So you could be right.
Let me just check.
Googling it, are you?
Yeah. Season C exists. To
be fair, I didn't even know they were split into like A, B, and C season. We always just like front end, back end, middle of season.
That's what it is. Wonder when that'll be on next year.
Here, actually, we didn't chat about it, but Mr. Bomber, Cameron, he to say he took an overall.
He won the overall. Yeah, I think he did, didn't he?
Yeah, very impressive. Again, alongside Mr. Morgan Kilo, like to say the same thing. Very impressive amount of development in his physique in the last few years. Like he definitely brought a different package to the stage, and you can see him and AJ are really fine tuning it in, because there's always points as well in those longer stints of off season where you're really like you really are starting to be very panicky on your physique, and is this same sort of approach going to work? Am I going to look different? Am I just going to look the same and I've just wasted 3 years? Is this coach right for me? Like, I mean, there's so many things that go through your head as an athlete, and I'm sure a lot of people will agree here. Like, to stay with a coach, to commit to the cause, and to actually commit the other end with the result that you knew or that you said was going to happen is very impressive. There's a big difference between talking about it and it actually coming to life. Like, it's class to see Cameron really bring higher potential, and also the switch from bodybuilding into classic physique. Looking at his physique during his last bodybuilding season, his idea of switching to classic, and me and him talked about it. I said, you know what, I think you're quite bubbly. I think it wouldn't be bad looking, but to be honest, I was very impressed with how it did actually come to the package looked, and I know for a fact he's not finished yet either, so I can see that getting better and better throughout the year, and even better to see him and Matthew competing
at the same time.
Yeah, I do think that might be the case towards the back end of the year. From last time I chatted to them, which was a wee while ago, I think that was going to be the case. The back end of the year, they're probably competing against each other, which should be... Oof. The dock is going to be split in two. The C-bombs versus the B-coms.
That'd be good. All for it, like, the healthy competition. The episodes of the Lifestyle Loops will be fairy in weeks.
Me and Emmett are actually going to start an Irish natural bodybuilding betting agency where you just can we'll take your bets,
Sweet,
make a bit of money on the back. Yes.
Yeah, I was speaking to
right?
Cameron recently. No, I was actually speaking to Cameron recently enough. He did say like the value of the coaching comes through, especially during prep. We kind of just had that conversation as well. But yeah, you're right. Like, it's that long-term coaching process. It's like the longer you stay with a coach, probably the more value you're going to get from it.
Yeah, at some point as well, like the coach can only give you so much, especially if you're a good athlete. Like, what else are they going to do, especially in the off season? Now, when it comes to prep, it's like your money's definitely made its worth at that point. But in the off season, I do think it's quite hard, because if you're doing things well and everything's going in the right direction, there's point just making changes constantly. Yes, you're able to troubleshoot, but I think in the off season, as a coach, it's probably a good time to build a relationship with your client, get some sessions in with them. Do you know what I mean? Like, try and, especially if they're in the same realm as you, it seems like a lot of bodybuilding is like, a bit of business sort of mentorship isn't a bad thing to sort of get into either, and be like this is what I do as a bit more of a successful coach.
Yeah, true.
Here's things that you could possibly do. And it is just trying to help as much as possible in that sense.
Because that's where I'm at the minute, where there's not many changes and stuff happening, but that's what when I was speaking with Cameron, I was like, I'm sure I will see like that value come through when I'm prepping, because now it's like learning about me, how I operate, how my body operates, like collecting all that data, and then you would imagine come prep, with all that data together, it just makes it so much easier, rather than jumping in to a coach before prep only. It's like they don't know. They're just dieting you. You know what I mean?
I've had two clients. My only two clients that have been on stage do that exact same thing, and it is fucking difficult.
Well, again, you can speak to it then, because I'm sure you would, of course, like you would rather have that period in the off season where you've got to know them, you've built a good relationship, but you've also built enough data where you know how they respond to a certain amount of foods, to certain training, like their volume, like all that data you're collecting. Whereas like there's nothing. I think it would be so frustrating. Say some people as well like jump on with a coach like 6 weeks out or something. And it's like, what like, and that happens often enough, and it's like, I'm sure it's not ideal for the coach either. Like, yeah, it'll take you on, but it's like, I don't really have that much data. Like, it's a bit of a lottery, I think.
Some of the more common things that you actually do see happening in those situations is maybe the coach digging them a bit too hard. They leave that coach because they feel like it's too difficult for them to get through. They haven't communicated that well enough. The new coach is there. They're quite open and vulnerable to the new coach. The new coach realizes it's just stress and gives them a bit more food and pulls back on things, and the next minute their physique comes to life and that coach looks like they're a miracle worker. And it's like, you know, maybe it's actually the client's fault. I don't think anyone ever talks about that. You see coaches get shit on 24/7 for that there, and it's heartbreaking to see, because like, it happens to coaches I know that are brilliant coaches, and I'm like, you know, see the stuff you're talking about, like that's all made up in your head from a psychological standpoint. But I think that's why that off season is quite helpful as well, isn't it? Seeing what actually happens with the psychological and emotional impacts of that client whenever they're on a cut, etc. What happens? Do they close off? Do I need to be a bit more attentive to them? Or there's somebody that just does the thing very well, and because the bridge of communication isn't there, I think that they're actually off plan, etc. If I don't hear from them for 2 days, is it that type of client? If I don't hear from them for 1 day, 2 days, you know, is something gone wrong? Are they trying to hide away from me, and maybe that's what they're trying to do? And I think that's all the things that I like figuring out whenever it comes to a bit of a longer stint in a relationship with a client, of being like, I know exactly what these trigger points are because I've seen them 100 times over, and I know what's actually happening right now. So it may just be a case of, you know, give them a phone call right away, and they'll be like, how did you know? I'm like, well, I've been fucking doing this here for 1.5 years, so I know exactly what's going on.
Yeah, the longer you're with someone, the longer that coach relationship lasts, the stronger it is.
Big time. Have we anything else to cover?
It is a relationship at the end of the day. Like, you know, what about, speaking of prep coaching and stuff, what about OneFit and prep coaching?
I said this to Finn, right? And I was like, look at that. I was like, me and you actually, because I think you were on it before I was. But personally, I just took the leap. You had a bit of a background on it because you already knew.
I got you on it. Yeah. I
mean, I'm an adult. I made the decision myself. No, I know. As we talked about.
But I was telling you, get on it. I was telling you, get on it. Get on this here. It's worth it.
So what actually happened, folks, right, was Amit was already using it. And I was like, I did, as we've talked about previously with coaches, I did my due diligence. And I was like, okay, well, Amit uses it, so is it good, Amit? Amit did say it was amazing. And I'm so happy to have made that call, because it feels like, you know, we've been part of something now from very early stages, and it's starting to flourish, and, you know, you're definitely getting the worth of it and seeing it grow. And we also get to have our say, you know, like, as soon as you message them, they're so on the ball. Like, I had a call with them previously about a certain feature I wanted. They were able to give me a bit of a timeline for it, a bit of an idea of what was actually happening, and, you know, I'm happy. I'm a happy customer. Whereas if I feel like I was using anything else, like Trainer A's, or I don't know, what else do we use? Everfit.
Kahoonis is one, isn't it?
I don't feel like I'm getting through to them guys, like, you know, whereas
I don't think
realistically I get a call with these guys within 5 minutes.
Majority apps are nowhere near probably as efficient or as effective as Google Sheets. There's a lot that can go wrong, but when it comes to OneFit, I don't think that's the case. Like,
they are, and then you're seeing them on the best components over.
It's so good for clients. Like, everything's integrated. They don't even need to touch a button half the time if they have some of these integrations set up. And I was actually like training with a client the other day, and he was asking me like about, you know, sheets and like my experience, because I'm currently a client like with a coach who uses sheets, and I'm like, man, everything's manual. Like, I'm filling everything in manually. And he's like, I was like, you know how lucky you have it.
I felt sorry for you.
With OneFit. Yeah, he was like, fuck that. But then I was also I'm also seeing James Mack was on with him. Cuba was having a call with him, so they're on with prep coaches, and they're trying to devise something that's gonna really be helpful for prep coaching. So I've no doubt, like whatever it is, will definitely be worth a lot of them making the jump. So I hope many of them do. It was actually a big reason that I went with Joe Brightman when I did, because he was using it, and I knew how good it was.
Yeah, you came across from Rory, sorry. He was using it. Yeah.
I got Rory on it also.
Oh. You were
I
very
convinced
early
him to
on.
go on, I mean, I think I was one of the first on, so it was like it was in its infancy when I came on, but it's improved so much as well. But I kind of just thought,
With the route we're going right now, I would like for us to be able to use one fit across the board, because right now we're using like Team Up for the small group and stuff, and it does the job, but I know what one fit offers, and all it needs to do is have like these additional features of being able to like book into classes, etc., and then we're flying. And then I'll just transition everything into one fit, which will be lethal. But I said to you in that last take there that I had something quite interesting to talk about, and I actually forgot about it until we started speaking there. But you're gonna have to wait for the toilet here, because I need to go.
Day 2.
It was definitely a closer call than I thought. Anyway, folks, and we are back. Drum roll, please. So, I don't know if we talked about it or not, but I went and got a new coach.
We didn't.
Yeah. No, you haven't.
No way, did you? Really?
Yeah. It was actually to give the listeners a bit of context. So I was with Ben Gardner. Ben is fucking phenomenal, like a brilliant coach. But you know, with the realm and stuff I'm getting down into at the minute, bodybuilding was it's just not his field. You know, he did as much as he could in terms of using our sort of conjoint knowledge, but the thing is, it just had to go to somebody else, because you know, I want to extend my own abilities, but also like in terms of education too. I just want to get better with the whole S&C side of things, the athlete sort of experience stuff. And yeah, it was a bit heartbreaking leaving him. I actually felt like a breakup. But Ben, being he knew as well. I didn't even have to message him. He messaged me, and he was like, "Do you think it might be worthwhile you sort of moving over to somebody else?" And I was like, "Well, I can't already."
That's interesting. Is that what he said? He brought it up as well.
He knows. He's quite intuitive. Like he knows.
Yeah, but it's interesting because obviously you'd said to me at a point you don't think you'll ever leave him, but of course it's just like the avenue you've been down where that's came about. But you said to me that you definitely said to me at some stage. But who's the coach then?
I was thinking for a long time about this, because there's so many people in that realm, and they all kind of bias to certain aspects of athleticism. So some of them are like really heavily S&C, some of them are really big into the sort of aerobic side of things, other ones are very nutrition based, and I was kind of looking for a bit of a Swiss Army knife in that sense. And you know, I'd kind of looked into the Prescript boys, and I think personally I always do well with somebody that's a bit closer to home in terms of like communication, etc. I looked at the relationships I already had with other coaches and came to terms with the fact that I had a good relationship with this coach, a very good one, to the point that, well, I signed up for him and we went out for dinner yesterday. So I was like,
Is he from Belfast?
Yes, he's from Belfast, yes. Do you want to take a guess? I don't even think you'd know him, to be honest, but I have been using him for a while.
I probably don't even know.
No.
Go ahead.
James McCaughey.
James McCaughey?
Mm-hmm.
Oh fuck, I'm really not across that realm, mate. I'm just bodybuilding in the brain.
Yeah.
So
have you found him? Do you want me to send him to you so you can see him?
yeah, would you?
Yeah.
Well, I'll have a look after. But how you feeling about all that?
Oh, mate, I feel good. You know, I feel like with Ben, it was sort of like I had said to you as well that I I didn't want to leave him because me and his relationship is very very good. Me and this other guy's relationship is very good as well. But you know, I don't even know, mate. To be honest, I feel a wee bit heartbroken as well because I think Ben's service is phenomenal. I know it's phenomenal from being there and doing it. But I also know that it's just a move I had to make. It does seem like James would be quite good for me.
It's a big decision. I think probably the right one based on what we've spoken about and what route you're going down. It just makes sense, doesn't it?
Yeah, and it's inevitable. I just want to get better at things, and you know, it was getting to the point there where I think even Ben almost felt useless because the things that we're doing were so far outside bodybuilding. It's like that he wasn't able to give us 2 pence. He's very, very good with other things. Like he was very, very good with the education on the side of like gear whenever it came to Connor Hughes, because of course he was like an assistant client and he was quite helpful with that. He was quite helpful with helping me with Kuhn and Kuhn's first prep too. So everything bodybuilding, he is phenomenal. He's quite knowledgeable in terms of just general health and the foundations of like people's bloods, etc. Yeah, definitely couldn't recommend him more to people that are going down the bodybuilding route, you know. On top of ourselves, of course. Emmett, has your phone died? Because I can't hear you.
He's embedded in the body. I was saying bodybuilding's his bread and butter, and he's embedded in bodybuilding. So again, it's sort of a similar thing. The opposite approach to what made me go like move coach. Was I wanted someone that was very much embedded in bodybuilding, but obviously for you at the minute, just the goal is different. So yeah, it makes sense, but it's never easy, is it? When you've had a long-term coaching relationship.
Definitely not. So James has been my physio from I actually don't even know how I came into contact with James. Like 2021, I think he's been my physio, my go-to for like any sort of issues I've been having, and he's always very good. Knew that he's quite strong. He came from like a powerlifting background. He transitioned into the athleticism sort of realm. I've seen what he's done with some clients. I definitely have quite a large interest in biomechanics, physio, and you know, I'd still been going to like seminars and stuff he ran, and I always got like so much knowledge from him. So I was like, do you know what? I think it's just time to go straight to the source. Stop beating around the bush and see what he can do as a coach for me, and what I can actually learn from as well.
Solid.
Yeah, he's definitely someone I look up to as a role model as well in the coaching realm, like what he does and you know where he is at with life, and definitely something we talked about before as well. Like I gel quite well with his personality and what he does and who he is as a person. It's definitely someone that I do look up to and someone I do strive to be like in my own way, of course.
Yeah, it sounds like it's a good decision then.
Yeah, I'm
excited
really
to see how it unfolds then.
Yeah, me turning into a big athletic motherfucker.
Nice, like it's interesting to physio as well. Is there anyone else that you looked at? But were there any other physios or?
Yeah, like a couple of people definitely had my eyes, and it tended to be all the prescript boys, you know, like James, Jordan, Hamilton, as well. Like he does seem to be quite in the S&C route. Adam Ludsby was definitely one of them as well. I think that's his name. Scottish guy, does quite a lot of S&C stuff.
Baxter, no.
I don't really see him in that realm, to be honest. He seems quite bodybuilding these days.
I know he's a physio as well, isn't he?
It wasn't me looking for a physio. It was just
no. I know,
No.
I know, but when I think of physios, and I think of him a lot of times.
Think of backs. Yeah. No, it wasn't for the physio aspect. It's just that James is a good coach. It's really it. Like, I've seen what he's done with some other people, and I was quite interested in it. And it might just be, and this is me not trying to like ruin the relationship right off the bat, but it might just be a case of I dip my feet in. Maybe I like it. Maybe I don't. Maybe I do need to go find a different coach, and that's completely fine. Like we talked about in that previous episode of finding the perfect coach. Sometimes you just need to, jump in, and if you don't like it, you don't like it. That's fine. Just make the decisions sharp and fast, and it is what it is.
Fuck around, find out.
You have to. You like what you like.
It's good, mate. Let's see how it goes. I'm excited to see how it unfolds for you.
Yeah, I'm excited.
It's definitely like
better.
It's definitely a big step towards like fully embedded now in the S&C, isn't it? And a step away from the bodybuilding. It feels like a significant
change.
It's like a significant switch, yeah.
Yeah, well, that's it too. James also knows my history too. So like we're talking about building that relationship. Like James already knows where I'm at, and he knows exactly what I like, what I don't like, and we share a lot of the same sort of thought processes. But he also knows that bodybuilding is a big part of my life, and it's not something that's going to get just tossed to the side. Like we still need to be doing bodybuilding work because it's a big part of the way my body is built as well. So just pulling everything, like almost pulling the blanket from under me is probably not the best thing to do in terms of my body. Probably just break down very fast. So it does need to be a transition as well. Whereas I jump straight on with an S&C coach, and the next minute I'm fucking doing things I haven't done in years, and then got sore knees, bad back, all that shit. It's not going to really work very well. But I'm more excited to learn than I am my own journey. Always like the idea of just being the vessel,
Yeah, I get that as well.
Like I said, I just want to be a better coach. Yeah, I just want to be a better coach. That's it. Across the board, it's always the thing. It's just I want to be better. So if I can get better through different things, and if I had to step outside my comfort zone, then that's what it is.
Yeah, me and you both, mate.
Yes, sir. Just want to be the best, mate. That's it. Have we anything else, or was it a bit of a mic drop for everyone?
Yeah, mate, I think we'll leave it on that.
Yeah.
It's mad. It was a mic drop for me. I was none the wiser.
I'm just not going to sleep tonight now.
Can't believe it.
You out to live, yeah? He did it. Oh my god, I can't believe it. I feel like there's definitely more shit we've forgotten from the last possible week and so, but I'm sure we'll chat about them in further episodes.
It's fine, mate. Yeah, mate, but I think it's important just to get it going again.
Yeah, I'm happy to be back to the habit and routine of the podcast, and I think next week we'll definitely jump on some interesting topics moving forward, and try and give people a bit more education, and then line up a couple of guests.
Few big guests on as well. We'll get that going because we've got some cracking guests on already. But we'll make this our promise, mate. No missed episodes. We'll get recording an episode a week, no matter what life shit hits the fan. No matter what life throws at us, we'll be there.
Just show up. Yep, that's it. We'll be our
for your entertainment.
Mm-hmm.
And for your pleasure.
Education.
And education.
That's it. Right, folks. Actually, we didn't do it. We missed our Irish word of the day. Mr. fucking lay, sir.
Fucking lay.
Something along the lines of being back on track.
What about change?
Yeah.
Changing coach, changing environment. Afri.
I'll take it. Right, folks. Slango foil. Have a great fucking week. And we'll speak to you again next week.
Slan. See you later.